Okay, welcome back. So in this chapter we are going to learn about Git flow and the entire concept. So let's say we will make a comparison with PHP and MVC. Okay, so either PHP or any programming language that you can learn the syntax, and then you can basically create files, your own structure, folders where you can keep the assets, controllers and everything, right? So let's say if you keep it on the developers, they will make their own flow, and that can vary from developer to developer. And what happens, it will be really difficult to understand the code of one developer uh, by the another developer, right? And this was one of the reason why we created MVC, which is more structured way of managing your code, where everything is predefined, that every developer is going to have their controllers in one folder, model in one folder, views in other folder, right? So basically we structured the entire code. Git flow is a similar concept where we basically structure your repositories branches. Otherwise, if you keep it on the developer or the people who are using repository, they will create any kind of structure which will be difficult to maintain and create a understandable structure of the repository. Okay, so how we initialize a git flow in GitKrane is basically you go into repository, you click on preferences, then you go git flow and initialize git flow. If you come back, you will see that there is a new develop branch has been created. If you want to go to develop branch, you can basically right click it or you can double click it, and this is the checkout on develop. This arrow icon is basically define that where you have checked out currently, and you see two more icon, that if you on master you see two icon. One is this, which means that uh, the content of your current uh, repository is in sync, the content of your local repository on your system is in sync with your repository, with your remote repository. Okay, so here you see there is only one icon, which is the laptop icon, which signifies that this repository is available only on local, and your remote does not have this repository. Sorry, I mean this branch. Excuse me for if I mistakenly using different terminology. So let's see whether we have it here or not. If you click on repository and branches, you see that there is only one repository. But on my local machine, there are two. Sorry, here in this repository, if you click on branches, you see that there is only one branch, and here we are able to see that there is a one branch develop and the other is master branch. This, and we see that there is no remote icon. Why? Because it's not being pushed at the moment. When we initialize the git flow, it has only created a branch in my local machine. If I click on push, it will ask me whether you want to create a branch on your remote repository. If I submit it, I will be able to see that there is 2 icons here, and if I refresh it, I'll see that this branch is available here as well. And if you look at the content of master branch and develop branch, it's actually exactly same. So in master branch there is a readme file, and the content of readme is available here. So you see that there is the same content, and the same content we can see in develop branch as well. Okay, so and this is why, because when we initialize the git flow, it created develop branch from the content of master. So and we have not made any changes, which means that the content of both branches is same. So now we have 2 branches, and when you enable the git flow, you will be able to see one more tab here, which is git flow. If you click here, you will be able to see that these options are available. Okay, when you enable the git flow, you will probably never going to create the branches of your own, but git flow will help you to create those branches automatically and do the merges and everything. Okay, merges, yeah. So before I start creating features release in hotfix, let's understand all these terms, these branches. Okay. So this is your repository, and you cloned it. So this becomes your master branch, and when you enable the git flow, you basically created 2 branch. One is master, the other is develop. Okay, you can push at any moment of time all the changes that we are doing here on the local machine. This is our local machine, and this, when you push at any moment which we are discussing here, it will be uploaded on the repo. Okay, which will have the similar structure what we are going to create here. So now we have 2 branches. Now let's say you want to, let's take an example that you're working on a website and you want to create a login feature. So what you will do, you will basically create a feature from here by clicking on this feature button. So what this will do is, this will create a branch here. Let's say this is going to be the feature 1. Okay, and this is, assume that this is your features that you will be probably building. Now you made some changes here, which is, let's say, commit. You made some other changes, commit, and here is your F1 feature. Now you have completed the login feature, and you want to merge this code into develop branch. So what you will do, when you will have that feature, you can actually click on this button and finish that feature. So there will be another button available here that will say that finish this feature. So what will happen when you finish this feature, the code of this branch will merge into your develop branch. Okay, so this is what it's going to happen. That will merge the code. So now let's assume that this branch has a file A. We created a branch from this. This will again have a file, and here we added file A, and so we created a branch from the develop, so of course this is also going to have the file A. Here we added B and C, which means here this branch will have A plus B plus C. Now when we merge the code at here in the develop, basically we finished this feature. Now this develop branch is going to have file A plus B plus C, right? Then again you can create another feature, which is, let's say, register feature 2, and which is obviously going to have all those files, plus let's say you made another commit and you made a file D, and then again finish that feature. Now finishing this feature will have A plus B plus C and D. So A to D files it will have. This is a develop branch. Now you see that you have completed two features. One is login, other is basically registration. You want to release it for the demo. Okay, so what is going to happen now is this is going to be your, let's say, release. So you create a release, and how do you create a release is by clicking here. So you create a release, let's say R1, which is again basically you are creating a branch out of develop branch, which will of course have files A to D. Again, I'm taking files because it will be easier for you to understand, rather than saying that there is a content changes in A and B or C. It can be anything. Okay, so now what is happening when you release it, you'll get to know that there is some bugs, and you made, let's say, added one more file E to fix that file. All right, now this release branch have A to E, and now the function login and registration is working perfectly fine, and you want to finish this release. When you finish this release, what will happen that this will merge into two branches. The one is develop and the other is going to be your master branch here. Okay, master will always have the production code. So here in release R1 we have A to E, and because we we finished the release, then the release code will be merged into master branch and develop branch. So now the develop branch is going to have A to E. Similarly, the master branch is also going to have A to E. All right, so this is this is Git flow. When you initialize it, it creates a develop branch. When you try to develop a feature, you start a feature and you basically commit into that features, and when you finish that feature, this feature branch is basically merged into develop branch, and then you can again create a new feature. You can also create a feature at any moment of time. You can have those in parallel. So let's say instead of creating it here, it's not necessarily that you have to do this in series, that you have to finish the feature of feature 1 first and then start working on the other feature. You can actually start multiple features from the same branch. Let's say you start working on contact us page here, and which is also another feature, which is F3, and then you eventually going to merge it. The difference in finishing a feature, the code is always being merged with D branch. Actually, there are two operations which happens. Let's say when you merge this feature branch, and if there is any, initially it will try to rebase it and then it will merge, and but the interaction is happening between only these two branches. While when you merge a release branch, the interaction is going to happen between the release and develop branch, as well as your release and the master branch. Okay, so this is Git flow.